It's a bit silent. Okay.
Say that again?
Yes.
You have a pen?
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
There should be a pen. No, these are red. Yeah. All right. When Celine comes up, we can start the meeting. Right? There should be nothing. Celine.
Yeah.
Sure. The copy. Sorry about that. Grab a seat. Grab a seat. Oh. So how many people missing? Oh, that's fine. Then that's it. Okay. Wait for it's
You said Nadra is on her way?
Yes, she is. That way you'll be.
Okay.
Don't you do that?
Train stop.
I need something from the copy machine over there. I printed something out. Oh no, the other side. Yes. Sorry guys. Making you guys work. Thank you. Pens, pens.
I didn't expect anything less.
Well. Okay. Grab a seat. All right, Robin, this is all yours.
Again, as Eddie stated, everything is being recorded, so what we said and how we see is gonna be recorded and sent out in public, so please be aware of that. We have a short agenda, but because it's our first meeting, I want everybody to just quickly introduce themselves. As I said, my name is Robin Patterson. I'm the Vice Chair of Public Safety Committee. Our Chair, Joanne Weiss, couldn't be with us today.
My name's Alan.
Good, you guys.
Okay, community board member, the meeting. All right, thank you. We thank our guests for coming in and also your board members as well. Any of the board members want to introduce yourself since you're here today?
I'll say hi, I'm Jennifer Thorpe Moscon. I'm a brand new committee member and I'm thrilled to be here with y'all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sooner and I'm an incoming public safety committee member and community board member.
Wonderful.
Wait. And
Thank you so much. And hi.
Sorry.
no, grab a seat over
You
here.
can walk and introduce yourself at the same time.
You want to speak up or?
You introduce yourself. They don't know. Okay.
I'm Heidi and this is Holly and we're with Live Nation, the Coney Island.
Wonderful. Thank you. So we have a short agenda today. What I'll ask everybody on Zoom and in the room, let's let the presenters present and hold our questions to the end because they do have a lot of our questions already and they might be answered in the presentation. On the agenda first up, we have a presentation on the NYPD's new Quality of Life Division, the Q team. You tackle quality of life issues such as excessive noise and abandoned cars And can you please start and pick up?
Hey, guys, I think you're reasonable. The quality of life is a precinct. What we vision was future. It consists of 16 officers working 2 shifts. 10 to 6, 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. It consists of 1 sergeant per shift and 1 admin cop per shift. The goal of the quality of life team is to address quality of life. As the PC said, we're down in crime, but not everybody feels that. Why? To be honest, not all of us experience crime. All of us experience quality of life issue. That's the new agenda. In terms of the agenda today, we look over the notes that sent me. We've done 15 operations since the inception of the QT, which is 3 weeks and 4 days. Be mindful, this is a pilot program. We have 1 of 6 agents in the entire city that's running the pilot program. There's a lot of pivoting, a lot of changing. We have listening to people complaints, we were listening to 911 complaints, we were listening to your emails, and now please me and say it, and myself, that's it. Things are being done, and I'll go to you in a moment, and things will continue to be done. Some require multiple processes. Pulling a car at one location might not solve it. Pulling it 10 times will solve it. Yes, thanks for everything. So on the agenda, I quickly saw some of the complaints about Surf Avenue, West Fifth to Ocean Parkway. We've done a toll operation that on the 1st of May. So 15 commercial trucks reallocated. It's been posted on social media. Your guys posted it. That was done 4 days after the event. These are farmers from Roseville and from Rapid Division. We're told heavy duty vehicle. Yeah, reality is a lot. We saw it with those cars being somebody. Those cars require special technology. So you guys complain about, when I say you guys, it's me, I apologize. Community complained about parking behind the DMV, dumping illegal cars there. That same operation, we told 11 cars behind the DMV. The little stretch behind the DMV where it's legal to park, so usually 11 cars are told. So there's a complaint issue about right 11, the fire zone parking. 15 moving some, 15 parking some have been issued in section 15 in that specific block. One block. There was a complaint about the municipal parking lot by the second and by fourth and by waterport. That we know about the location, way before following by female court. The location is not just parking. The no hangout, they break there. Sometimes my cars are involved. If it points to criminal, like home summonses, it's conception of quality of life team, and that's considered guilty. But from waiting for trespassing, the product, to open the pain and it's all good. Some of these complaints got brought up to my attention on you. I only been in this precinct for 6 months, so I'm still learning most of what the issues and what the divisions. But we will address the majority of them. It's important.
I just want to go back to the first one you said, with the toll, 15 trucks, what street was that?
The bend and South Avenue between West Fifth, North Parkway, the bend.
I would like to ask also, because I see that West Eighth is clear, obviously, there's gonna be parking on either side.
Yeah.
I went away and came back and found it, that's my best.
Four days, like I said, go up on one time, don't make no difference. For the whole street, 4 different times, they will start realizing you can't park there. It takes competitiveness to solve an issue that sometimes frankly the population is not solved in 1 day. It takes a multiple efforts. And you can see after 4 weeks, but that's now I think
If I may add something, I'm sorry, it's also constant maintenance on that.
like the double parking, the triple parking now that they've gone to the other side. So we're constantly seeing it and then having to send officers there to maintain that. Otherwise, the one person that parks there, whether they're running into a place or whatever, the next person says, oh, that person parked, I'm gonna park. So, you know, it's a constant thing of, but definitely the lieutenant and his team and Sergeant Zubik, who spearheaded it, fantastic job, amazing. It's had been a complaint for years. Sanitation, the street hadn't been cleaned. Someone's mentioned that they hadn't seen that in 50 years, the two lanes, pretty bad.
I do have a question, because you mentioned, you said the majority of them will be addressed. So is there certain ones that we should not expect the quality team to address?
No, some are, you have different partners, right? We have like private parking or illegal dumping in private lots. The deals, we work with them, but we want to be the street liaison in that situation. We won't be the primary agency. Everything in the public street, we work with DOT, public sanitation. Some require their expertise and us being the secondary unit. Otherwise, and parking violations, anything criminal, we're the primary agency.
I'm just curious, since it's all new as well, can you just share with us, like, what in a short period of time have been all your successes, and what has been the greatest challenge for you?
The greatest challenge is increasing. As soon as the commission broadcasted the quality life team, emails started getting flooded. Everybody has, like I said from the beginning of the speech, everybody is not a victim of crime. Everybody is a victim of quality life.
Yeah.
Everybody. You just start getting flooded. Then you guys start getting triage. So we take a place, but we got how many people I want to go into, how many people are gonna affect? A single person might not be addressed on things. Like it's a huge volume of people who's gonna address abuse. Other homelessness is an example. I'm getting flooded with homeless conditions. That is a multi-agency response, where we're not the primary. We got tertiary, yeah. There is public health, local hygiene, sanitation, and that's exactly. That's stories, West End story. The first day, so we have 11 gets categorized in chronic location. It's 5 full. The single location becomes a chronic. That's a discrete. Chronic. So every week you get a report saying which got chronic location. I applaud you as leaders of this community to tell the people and I to put contact information be on once. So I can reach out to them and get a better understanding. But anonymous is not consulting. That's my idea for the community. So contact the person and figure out what the issue they want to understand where it's due. That's what we see. So we've done, we cooperated ourselves, for 167 years. That's what we can go on, and the biggest complaint in the community is and 72% of the complaints we receive is parking related to the block driveways, hydrants, illegal dumping, anything made to it related.
So, one of the other, accomplishments that they did was on Mermaid and, Stillwell Avenue. If anyone remembers, there was an illegal, vendor that was there and a grocery store that just popped up overnight. And, they did what we've been complaining about for the longest time. They came in one day, took all the merchandise, closed it down. It was illegal because there was no building permit. They were doing business without a license. So when they did that, we were all amazed and we were very happy for something like that to happen. So like he mentioned, 311 calls is needed. So don't think that one call is going to happen, it's going to be gone. He said up to 5 times before it becomes chronic. So call, tell your neighbors to call. So if you don't call, tell your neighbors to call. And when they see it's a pattern, then this will be looked at much more quicker.
More specifically, please don't keep it and give some confirmation to us to reach out and figure out a single line that people on call is not.
Yeah.
Doesn't give us any idea what's going on.
Mhm.
That is our block mentality.
Yeah.
When do we reach out to quality of life versus just calling the precinct for a car that's been abandoned on the street or what have you?
So the new policy in quality of life is you call 311, the cars are then, cops come, we take a picture of it, and we schedule a call for it. Because if I have a car towing one second between two cops towing that one car, that's a 2-3 hour job. Now the rest of the community is down one, they only have 8 cops per. So 3 cars being towed at one time, you have no more cops. So we have two operations weekly, not bi-weekly. So where we gather all the information, all locations where you guys email us, get a cluster map, and we tow 40 to 60 cars a month.
So along that same line, I think addressing what he's saying and bringing Ray into the conversation. Of course, we have events over at the amphitheater. And both sides of West 21st Street, between Surf and the boardwalk, are no standing. If you were to go there right now, there'll be at least 8 cars that are parked there. Now, including Holly's. But what I'm talking about is not on a night like tonight, where let's face it, there's not much going on. But starting next week, the amphitheater is going to start hosting 5,000 people a night. There's going to be people walking down the boardwalk, people walking down West 21st, and everyone's going to try to drive to that address where there's no parking. And there's going to be the street lined with cars who think that they can park there because it says no standing. So just looking maybe to coordinate, of course, Ray is well on top of this already. I'm sure you're well spoken, but on those nights or days when we have events, some days we've got 3 events at the amphitheater, which means there could be 15,000 people down. That one block, we just want to make sure that the block is clear and safe. So that's where we would want your help, to maybe perhaps coordinate on those days, which of course that calendar events is available. But that's where we might need some extra help. Speak out of turn.
No, we'll increase the end of the block to keep traffic from coming down, but if there's,
Ocean View Way now, is that what you're gonna do?
once that opens up, we'll have to have a meeting to talk about how we're gonna.
Ocean Way.
Ocean Way.
That won't be open until probably July or August. By the time the work's done,
Okay,
and goes to the approvals of work. Once it opens, yes. Now we're gonna have 3 ways onto the block where there's still no parking.
well, if you come by Ocean Way,
Sure.
in shortening the way, but.
Yeah, that's just gonna put more pressure on NYPD and traffic.
People will be coming in from West 20,
Now
West
it's gonna be
21,
business.
and West 22, all coming to the same place where there's still no.
Yeah. It's just like, we're trying to keep that block on an event day very as clear as we can.
So on the days so now from the first day going forward, I want you to document. Everyone, right, document pictures, 311s, call me, email
There's
us,
a car that's.
whatever it is. Just the one thing, just to start it going to what the problem is. So we can proceed going forward, how to prepare and tackle that.
That sort of helps us set precedent every time we make a report. It's like, hey,
Correct, right? You
got
can't just
10 reports
say,
from this.
like, right, we haven't had this problem, but now we might have this problem. We understand the logistics of everything that is most likely going to happen, but we still need to leave
So
the current.
the Q team handles parking, but do you handle other issues like vendor issues and things like that as well?
Yeah, but we have a vetting operation ready for tomorrow. And they're on the boardwalk, and we just did it last week, the rain, the issue. Of course, getting all the resources to move forward on that.
I have a real problem at our vendor with, and it's not really, there are our vending, but it's not really food vendors, it's flower vendors that surround our building for graduations, and I've called the mayor's office, I've called the sanitation, when sanitation was supposed to be in charge of vendors. I've called everybody and nobody, Parks Department, police, and nobody will come out and help me. Only for graduations that we have the issue,
but we do like 20 of them.
but we do 25.
But
And I don't want to speak out of turn, but it is still parks and sanitation who are the lead agents for that.
And that, I paid for the contract and I've been told that they're not gonna come for a flower vendor, but it really hurts our business.
People who are vending.
One on each block. That's basically what it comes down to. Yeah, they do.
It's literally so, they go try to tell them they can't be there. It's graduation time, so usually morning.
What are the hours? What are your?
The first
what are the
one.
Hours?
I mean, it varies, but our graduations sometimes start at 8 a.m., sometimes noon.
And they're there at 8 a.m. when it comes?
Yeah. They know where the money is.
I mean, I can give you a calendar so
Okay,
that
that'd
it
be-
narrows it down.
Yeah.
But it's just like
Yeah.
really hurt their business because we sell flowers inside.
Yeah, no
And
one's
then-
gonna buy it.
Money does pay over,
Yeah,
which we need a time frame. We can't be over.
yeah, I can
Time
give
frame,
you
so
the
between-
calendar of events where it has specific days and times.
The only other thing I have is I know that was posted on Facebook. I'm not sure everybody here is aware of all the work, good work that you guys have done over, like we said, all the events that you had with the new boots that go on the windshield and
Oh, yeah.
all these new things. Maybe you can share that with all of us.
That's not the important thing. So instead of putting boots on the tires, they put them on the way here. Basically, so we don't tow the car right away, we just put a boot in it, you can't move that car as mobile. And be told them later. That's a way to alleviate the toll, because the pounds get filled very fast. Put 6, 7 semis in a pound, we're gonna fill it up. Can't tow anything. The realist is logistically. That will sit, that will still violate that part will still be filled down the road. But we'll have free space in pounds. The more road.
How many booths do we have in our district?
I love it back.
Oh, okay.
Traffic enforcement.
More
It's
extra.
not ours,
Yeah,
we
okay.
don't, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The windshield, windshield. You can't see out. Yes. Oh, yes, they've been around. They've been around.
We're now looking at, like you said, double park, triple park. And I understand that, we have, repair shops. I've used them also. But when it becomes that you're down to one lane to make the turn to even come off of, Neptune Avenue to go down, go down Foxy.
Just terrible. No, it's horrible.
There's
Yep.
one of our operation, legal from that.
So,
So we'll do it again as well. Like I said, problem issues cannot be solved in one day. We hurt them, but taking money from their pocket.
Mhm.
Please taking money, we can't criminally arrest them, it's talking.
No, but maybe because the presence is there now, they're being told, listen, you can't triple it like that.
100%.
You
That's
know,
the
and
main,
they even took the zebra stripe at some point and would have flatbeds there,
Right,
which is another issue because that's your emergency.
100% for us, yeah, no, definitely, that's something that's a great concern to us. Ambulances, any emergency response unit, fire department, so, we run into that and I don't know how many times we've spoken to the businesses about it and and then. but
It
we
clears up for a
tow-
little while. then
We've
it's
been
over.
towing, it's not even before the Q team was conceived, it was, we had community link where we were doing operations, right? A couple times a year, Eddie, would you say?
oh, yes,
At least?
definitely.
It's just something that has to be maintained, this is their only way of doing business, making money. So their livelihood is take as much as they can to make as much, whatever, in whatever time they have. And that's just the name of the game, it's no matter how much you take from them, they're gonna keep doing it because they need to pay for what you took the last time, they need to pay, that's their livelihood.
Like I said, listen, I have used this service also, so I understand, but at some point, it just becomes a safety issue, and I'm just throwing it out because I know that we've talked about this before, and I know you're working on it.
I think it's much better though, since the Q team has been. doing what
I
they've
think
done.
it is.
I think, what I see actually in the morning. Yeah.
To be careful to take them out the street, they put them on the sidewalk. So
Yes, that's
also
true.
from my grandson
Sidewalk,
with
yep.
some school, I'm like, if I go too much on the edge, that's where everybody turns. I don't want us to get hit. So I'm like, squeeze through the cars to get around the corner. So it's some kind of a balance they have to. Yeah, safety.
We're all aware of it now, appreciate the fact that you're alive.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Any other
Heidi.
questions?
Yeah, I just have one kind of reversing it because I'm a concert venue. So if you get, say, noise complaints, which we haven't had that many, but if you ever get them, how would you have that open line of communication with us?
so all my, they're my police officers now trained some of the same. we had a lot of issue, noise issue, somebody, we're metered now. The meters now that Roger sits up decent yet, but we're getting sound meters. We're now legally trained to issue somebody. What that means is that, of course, we already met with something to alleviate the complaint. But if you're the issue, the complaint against you, you'll contact the owner. That's we repair. Repair is the whole contact information for all the businesses.
Right.
So if somebody from that, there's the manager in charge, so that will lower the value, will do a test. Will lower the value. Everybody has a permit, the permit has certain decibels allowed to. We actually somebody wanted to alleviate it, but
Right.
hope it doesn't work. But
We should maybe have a conversation, if there's specific guidelines with regards to decibel level on venue that exists in our special permit and our ground lease. And we've always operated within that. I would just like to make sure that, let's say, a sound complaint comes in.
11 p.m.
Yeah, that's it.
We know that we're quiet after 11.
I said they're the only ones in the city.
Okay, I just want to put that out there because
Okay.
if there ever is a problem, of course, please contact Heidi.
We're working in like this, so,
Very good.
so.
Thank you.
Okay, we have somebody on Zoom. Jeff?
Yes, good evening, everyone, and thank you for this very, very important meeting with the Q team and Lieutenant and everybody in the community affairs. I just want to emphasize that the part of the most important part of this is documentation. So relate to your neighbors, anybody on the community board, that you must call 311 to get the documentation. You can also send it into the community board where we have an Excel sheet on the complaints, and we will forward this here to the Q team. And they will follow up. I'm 100% sure they will follow up on any and all quality of life issues in our neighborhood. It's very important to have these issues so that the FDNY can do their life-saving work, getting through to the West End and to the Brighton Beach area. So I thank you very, very much for this important meeting. Thank you.
Okay, also, there was a question that we had about cars in the middle of the night making those burning the tires, the wheelies and stuff like that. How do you attack something like that? Because they come up randomly and yet we don't know where they are because you don't want to go out in the middle of the street to find out, where it is, but you hear it. Yes. Well, when you see the tire marks, that's the better thing, is where we see the tire marks in the middle of the street is where it happens. And the question is, how do you catch them? Because you don't know, we don't know either. They just come middle of the night and yeah. Okay.
There's two locations in the
Oh, okay.
precinct that we don't go.
Uh,
Not
yeah.
Calvin
Calvin Vox, yeah. Those two, yeah.
Yes, without going very detailed about the procedure.
Yeah.
We have certain guidelines that we can't chase vehicles.
No.
We have certain guidelines about safety and community safety with vehicle pursuits. So we have specific tactics that we can employ. Try to.
Yeah.
Without getting into more specific, we have made arrests for this.
Oh.
Most recently, we issued multiple criminal charges to arrest to be specific for this specific behavior. And we are just, this is mostly a negative impact.
Yeah.
There are specific guidelines we have to follow in regards to vehicle pursuits and vehicle.
Okay, we also have someone here from Coney Island, USA, Adam.
Thank you, Eddie. It was mentioned before, but it was somewhat unclear. I wasn't quite able to hear. The trucks, the commercial trailer trucks that are parked along Ocean Parkway, the end of Surf Avenue where Ocean Parkway curves right by the boardwalk. Again, those should be called in to both 311 and the community board, correct?
So that location has been called in already. We have started toll operation on the 1st of May, where we towed 15 of those semis/commercial vehicles. We document that based on complaints from CP311 and from emails from the community. So yes, if it's, they will come back, I'm telling you, it's
Yeah.
being told because the violation. They pay a fine and car comes back. You call them again, 6, 7 times, when it becomes a 4-digit issue, maybe they'll stop towing again. Maybe it's forced parking there, doesn't exceed the benefit of parking. That's how we learn from violation. Without criminal offense, the most we could do is tow and hurt their pockets. And that's what we have been doing twice already.
Gotcha.
Cool.
All right, follow-up, next question would be specifically, the lot diagonally across the street from where, the community board is on the corner of Surf and 12th.
Yeah.
Yes, Surf Avenue and 12th Street, directly across on the, east side of Coney Island USA's building. They're barbecuing in there. Is this the electric that's run is obviously not to code? Is this obviously 311 community board? Is there anything that the precinct can do?
The plan is new to me. First time I heard about this, so I will look into it. Well,
Okay,
I
great.
think Department of Buildings would be the.
Yeah,
really the
DCWP, because they have to have a license. And if they don't have a license, then you
Well,
guys,
electrical
code, yeah, bathroom, health, yeah, it's a multi-agency, thing, and yeah, buildings too. They have to have a code, and also the landlord also is responsible, whoever they lease the land to. So if they're leasing it to, what do you call it, a tenant, that, yeah, so they have to be accountable for it too. So,
Okay,
okay,
great. Thank you.
all right. Next one is Mark. Mark,
Hi,
right.
I had a question on, you mentioned the tractor trailer trucks on the end of Ocean Parkway. I've noticed a lot of moving trucks, just box trucks parked in Brighton overnight along, different locations, not only 11th Street, on Brighton Beach Avenue, on Brighton 7th, etc. I have called them, take a picture, 311 app. Is that something that you guys look at?
Oh, yeah. So you guys have noticed when you guys get a response from 301, have you seen a change in responses? Have you guys, this is a question for everybody, did you see a different result? So,
Yeah.
it's actually,
Yes.
Mark, have you seen something different from your 301
I-
calls?
No, it just, closed. I use the app mostly because I add a picture. I add a picture of the truck, but I'm not the only one. We had same company's trucks. Someone was at the community board last month. Someone was at the precinct meeting discussing the same. I can't remember the name right this second, but they'll park there, not weeks. They just must live in the neighborhood and work for that company. It's just those things aren't supposed to be, commercial vehicles aren't supposed to be on, on the street at night, overnight, or whatever the definition of overnight is. Maybe that's what I don't know.
so it's the inspection of the QT, the ship there are sponsors. Now we issue a lot more summer. Those cars, like I said, you can't tow every commercial truck every night. It requires a heavy duty tow. There's only very few available in the city, even fewer at night. So we set up operations where we take a cluster of locations based on community complaints, 301 complaints. We build a map of where we're gonna hit that night, allocate 5 to 6 tow trucks, 6 to 7 officers, and we go 5 hours of towing. That's how we solve a problem. Instead of towing one car every night and losing the resources, for the rest of the precinct cannot solve a crime or a complaint. Gather all the information and do one large tow once a week.
All right. I wasn't necessarily thinking tow, just repeated tickets to hurt them
Oh, they
where
have been issued,
where it hurts.
if it's a violation, my officer issue tickets automatic if they give.
All right. Thank you. And so that is something that your team is doing.
Yes,
Thank you.
Okay, we have Jeff.
Yeah, I noticed that the box trucks moving, they park on Brighton Beach Avenue, right at an Ocean Parkway, right on the bus stop, overnight. Big box trucks there. I'm not gonna name the company, but you can definitely see it there.
Okay, also, I know that, I didn't put on the complaint list was, illegal vendors in Brighton Beach Avenue on the weeknights and weekends. Can you tell us about it? Because I know that you did, tackle some of them down, which is good.
Good operation.
Yes.
You listed it. This complaint, I only been here 6 months, but I've seen complaints from 2023
Yes, yeah,
about legal vending on Brighton Beach Avenue. So the good thing about the teaching now is we're getting more resources. We have sanitation coming out. We are issuing violations. Those are all violations.
yeah.
Unless they have warrants, something or kind of bigger. Otherwise, it's a violation and a seizure of property. We will continue doing as well. It seems like a daytime problem in weekends.
Let's see, uh, let's see. All right, also someone mentioned about, the storage bin over by the Riviera. Will those actually be moved because they are taking up parking space? And, we know that they're supposed to be moving soon, but they said that for the last 2 years.
So when you had some, sorry, excuse me.
Yeah,
So I had spoken with the owner and the manager, and he had promised that once he took down the building, you know the story.
yeah, but they don't know.
I'll play it for everybody else. We haven't gotten too many complaints as far as pedestrians. I mean, we mentioned it here. But he had asked that if he kept it close. I know when he was parking one of the trucks in the lane, we asked him to move it, then he made space on the curbside for his trucks to load and unload. He is waiting for that demolition of that building right next to, it was condemned. They're taking it down currently. I think they're still taking it down. Once they cave it, they're gonna move all those freezers inside there. And it wouldn't be an issue for the trucks to load and unload and freeze a big place for it.
Okay, we have, someone on the line, Vadim.
Hi, how are you? I really appreciate that you organized that meeting. I would like to ask, I made a lot of complaint couple years, in a row. It's regarding the cafe, which is open on 201 Brighton First Road. They playing loud music outside of the cafe. They put the loudspeaker outside. They playing sometimes to 10, 11 p.m. and it starts on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And multiple complaints I made, on 311, the police just closing my complaints, and I was staying next to the cafe. Nobody even show up over there.
That cafe is now closed. It's not in business anymore.
It's open now with a new.
A new person, yeah.
Yeah, and we will see. That's gonna play music again.
Okay, they can check on that, to see if they're gonna, do that, with the new owners. So, I'm sure you will let us know, if they'll be playing, during the summer. But until then, we will keep an eye on that location.
So my question is, if you guys have, decibel meters that you can measure, the sound, that the maximum what they can make, it's 7 decibel over the background noise. It's number one. Number two, if you're gonna look at section 14-124, it's about zoning resolution, which is Eric Adams sign. It says music and noise amplification, and it says that it's not allowed to use enclosed sidewalk, cafe, or any purpose. The music not supposed to be played outside. It should be inside. So, the first violation is $150. The second violation is $500. And the third violation is $750. I just wonder if any of those violations was issued to those cafes.
It's a new cafe right now, so we don't know, if they're gonna have the same type of operation. It's called Tashkan, hot dog place. It's a hot dog place. And
Yeah.
no, Brighton Beach, it's Russian on it. But we'll see what happens because like you said, last year the other one also had a problem with the tent. There was a tent on that block that was blocking pedestrian walkway. They moved it finally when DOT enforcement came by, and this year is new owner now. So we'll see if they're going to be good neighbors or bad neighbors. Okay.
Okay, the next couple issues. Right now, overnight, it's a dead end street, Brighton First Road. It's a lot of cars parking over there illegally because they have a sign no standing anytime, and nobody issued the tickets to those guys.
We mentioned that earlier. You weren't here when it happened, but the lieutenant mentioned that you did over 15 on that block, and it's not going to stop. We're going to keep on doing it until they get the message.
I appreciate that. The next question is, the music is loud playing on the boardwalk itself.
That we have to talk to the
When you're
parks
making
department.
when you're making complaint to the park department, they saying it's not their responsibility. You complain to the police department, they saying it's not their responsibility. So who is take care of that issues now? Now another thing is you have a playground, Brighton Beach playground. That playground supposed to be closed at dusk. Do you know that people is still playing on that playground to midnight?
Yes, we put in a list for the officers to go. One of them is Brighton Second Playground. The other one is Poseidon Playground, Bobby Yard, Grady High School, Nautilus, and even Seaside. We put Seaside Park behind the amphitheater. So these are small parks that need to be addressed that the Parks Department forgets. So they'll be working with the Parks Department whatever they can, and we'll keep you updated. Also, Brighton Second is being renovated. So within the next couple of months, you'll be seeing them taking that playground apart. So be on the lookout for it. So you might not see them hanging out because they'll be doing some renovations. And by next year, you have a new playground.
I understand that, but I'm afraid, I've been on presentation when the new playground will come out, and they planning to put the lights, which is going to be running through the entire night. So those
no,
going to
they
be
usually have
playing
a
all
timer
night
on that.
now.
But then they usually have a timer on those lights, and they're only good to like, I don't know, 10 or 11 o'clock, the latest. Because you don't, like you said, you don't want people to be hanging out at those parks. So they have a timer on them. And if it stays past 11 o'clock, let us know, and we'll report that to the Parks Department.
And last thing, the gazebo which is built on the boardwalk in the front of building 50, they constantly having the parties in that gazebo.
Well,
I make so many complaints, the loud music is playing over there.
Okay.
And nobody's response. And on the top of it, the firework, which is constantly is on the Brighton Beach, on the beach itself, nobody responds to that firework. I make a complaint couple times. 4 hours later, I got the phone call from the police if the firework is still going on.
Okay. All right.
I really appreciate that you're on the top of it. That community board is really working on it. But
okay,
unfortunately, the result is not so great anymore.
Okay, with the pavilion, they've done what they call a shift in what do you call it, the PEP officers. Last 2 years ago, they changed the tour from what we call it, 6 p.m. to about 3 p.m. 3 a.m. So they had a night shift to do it on the weekend. So that dealt with some of the problem. Now that we have a Q team, they can work closely with them to see how it can be resolved quicker. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you for listening to me. Sorry, I had so much time.
Okay. Anyone else? Is there other complaints or issues that we should address?
I will say this. By Kaiser, which was there also, but I was certainly bring it to my neighbor's attention. That, let's do 311 as I told them before. And I also asked them, give me the information, I'll
Yep.
take my information.
Yep.
Give it to the board.
Yeah.
So we can proactively work on this, because now we know 5 times is not.
Also, now that you mentioned about that section, the beach over there, Coney Island Creek Beach. No, the beach, the beach, the actual party, they have parties over there on the beach itself. The park, yeah. Okay. She does.
Big
Yeah.
girls, so they can have the beach party
Yeah.
with, the fire pits and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it is, they do be out there. I, will have to say, it's not disruptive, but it should be. Because
Yeah.
you shouldn't have fire, you
Yeah.
shouldn't have open pits there, there are no lights there.
And no lifeguards,
There's
no
nobody
lifeguards,
really
yeah,
wanted to.
yeah.
That's one of those areas that,
referring to the same place, baby.
yeah, that's the.
Oh, yeah, it's Coney Island Creek Park, yeah, it's a park. That goes into Seagate. That goes into Seagate.
And also the bikes are another quality of life issue.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the mopeds, the other scooters.
Yeah.
The bicycles, like if no one is following any laws, and you don't even know, especially if they're behind, you don't know that they're behind you
That's it.
before they come and zip in front of you.
I know.
37 moped since we started.
Really?
Well,
That's good.
the 4 e-bikes. And we have
That too, ATV. Okay,
we are addressing the moped is the issue, not just for quality of life, but for pride.
yeah, it's illegal, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
On the Bell Parkway, this week, in the left lane.
Oh.
Where the yellow line is, because he knows he's moving so slow, which was really dangerous. But I'm understanding that at some point they were thinking about allowing them to go on the Brooklyn Bridge, so I don't know if this is gonna happen or not, but it's just all about quality of life also, for everyone, the person who's riding it as well as pedestrians and for the people who drive it. Because you just don't know. Any more questions?
Anybody?
I wanna
Sure,
add one,
yeah,
I wanna add one thing about excessive noise.
Yes,
It's in my residence at 3064 Cornell Avenue. One particular apartment, it's since December all the way to today, even today as well. There's a kid yelling and screaming on top of her lungs. Nonstop, there are people coming in and out of the apartment, nonstop. I've called the police over 125 times total. I've called the landlord almost every single day. And there's no solution into that particular matter. There was a situation 2 days ago, I was at work, and the neighbor came excessively drunk and said if I call the police, he will threaten the life and safety of the building. So I would like to ask the police department what they're gonna do to resolve this matter.
Which department?
5C.
So I've seen that.
Okay,
You're addressing the child, right? The child.
Yes,
Wow.
that's correct.
So the child is being loud and he's being
Very loud. It's a 3-year-old child.
Oh,
in the apartment.
Yes.
Not in the apartment.
That's correct.
And you're concerned for the child's safety.
Yes.
They're concerned for the child's safety.
yeah.
It's on 20.
Not, it's not about the
Neptune,
noise, it's the child's safety.
Cool.
Yes.
Why can't the child is on?
Good.
Here. So my question is it illegal if on the boardwalk, bicycle, scooter, something, is it legal? Is it right?
They have a rule in place on the board, the signs, I believe until Memorial Day, they free use the bicycles or not, but once Memorial Day gets in, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, after 10 a.m., I believe, there's no bicycle.
But is it for motorized as well? Does that?
Otherwise, it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's not just motorized.
So obviously, if
Riding it.
we're able to, we will issue a summons, but to piggyback on what Lieutenant said, without going into detail, the food policies and
So
certain limitations.
if I may add, we just got 85 officers in yesterday.
Yeah, oh, that's
To
it, part two.
Summer detail.
Yeah, that's it,
Orientation
it's part two.
So all these are supplemental, that they're helping out with. They'll be there to tackle all that, and those issues will be brought up by Eddie
Yep.
and other members of the community when they come to orientation to go to the about the.
And also this weekend is a big weekend because it's half marathon that's coming to Coney Island. So be prepared for traffic jams and stuff like that for at least the first half of Saturday. Okay, yep, and sure. Yep, yep.
You talked about the area. So you just talked about the summer season, please summer details, is there any more details we should know?
So we got 85 officers and we expect them to be out on Friday. Their days off will be Tuesday, Wednesday. In place, the commanding officer, what he did last year was implement a team to supplement those days. And those are highly motivated individuals who are very active. And they will be out on those days. A smaller team, but they'll be out on quads or the gators, which are the motorized vehicles on the boardwalk. And they will be addressing whatever crimes go on those days. Those days seem to be the lowest for criminal activity, so that's why they have those days out. They feel they're very necessary on Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and on Monday you have these long extended weekends for holidays and such.
What streets will be closed this weekend? And it's because of the.
All from Ocean Parkway all the way to at least West 16th, 17th Street, up to there. Yeah. I don't know if it goes all the way to your park.
I don't think it does.
Doesn't go that far. Yeah. And the stadium. That's right.
But I understand, even though those are the streets that's closed, we live back there.
Yep,
And we
sure.
know.
Yeah, oh yes, stay inside that day. Sure. Yeah. That hurts.
Monitoring the boardwalk because again, we've been at the far end, and I know the entertainment center and the area amusement park will, have a lot because there's a lot more flow. But we also know that we still would like to have some presence towards the end.
So the inspector, we do all the numbers through ComStat and we know the high crime areas and intersections, if you will. So there are posts throughout the west end, but mainly on the boardwalk, it will be up until Stilwell and maybe West 19th sometime, depending on the days. We do have during events for Live Nation, we do put officers there, depending on what's going on, what they officers and enforcement in those areas, so.
And we always talk about this every year. 4th of July. I have one.
Sure, yes.
And we all know, I mean, this is just the way it is because this is where we live at. It is very, you have sometimes the crimes, you have the stage, you have the hot dog eating, you have fireworks, etc. So I know that that's made a major thing, and I know that you're doing the best you can to control everything, so. I just threw it out there because we do talk about it every year.
Question, what are the shift times for the summer detail? Is it a specific shift time?
So I believe the day tour comes in from 10 to 6 and then.
6 will be.
Oh, same as the Q team?
Yeah, 5:30 to 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Will there be more people though, or more officers around the 4th of July, or just gonna utilize the best of?
So we do put in for a detail. It really depends on whatever the borough gives us that they could send it. Anything available, they try to send us as much as we can. We ask for everything because, that day we surely need it between the hot dog eating contest, the influx of just people who are going to the beach session. It's always hot that day. And then, the fireworks at night, everything's going on. There's also a baseball game, I think.
Oh,
that day,
yes,
right?
yeah.
So,
Sure.
everything's going on. So maybe my base will have a contest.
No.
Direction of the street, that's when the most problems started, when they redirected, the way the street went. So for that specific weekend or that day, is there any way, since we have the knowledge, to proactively think about another way? Because everybody always thinks that there's a way out and it's coming down to the west end. The cars that all the way to West 37th Street until like 2, 3 in the morning. It's like a movie show. You can just sit outside. There has to be a safer way because people are sitting there for hours and then they just cut down the street and it leads them to the same way. We have peninsula. Everything goes out the same way, but they don't know that.
That's a good question for DOT, right?
Yeah,
They
good.
haven't
Well,
built a
no.
belt walkway by West 15th, like.
Yeah, but yeah, it's it. Don't go that way, but just.
South, you can't go past 30 and 40
South, they don't get it. They don't understand this.
I know it's frustrating for them and it makes it dangerous for the way they start driving because they get frustrated. You can see it. And so it's a safety.
We've had a walk about mercy from the street.
Yeah.
Backing up, it was better.
Exit, yeah, you get a lot of, bringing everyone in, and now doing blocks on the surface.
Bring that again, for that day, you have to change the direction.
Elected officials during the fight for it, and Steve Cohen has been very vocal about it. And
Still trying. Still trying.
Thank
All
you.
right. Okay.
Any questions from Zoom?
Oh, wait, Vadim, one more time, we'll give it to you.
Yeah, I appreciate. Thank you very much again. My suggestion, I think, those streets where you have a tire marks, maybe you should talk to DOT. They can put, those cameras with sound and they can give the ticket to those people.
It's DEP actually, that has those sound meters. They're not out there yet. They're not 100% accurate, but we're waiting for them to come into action. So one day when they do, we'll have them in our neighborhood too.
I appreciate that because we have same issue on Brightwater Court. They also, running very, making so much sound that the alarm on the cars is going on as well.
We understand.
Thank you.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, the half marathon, after it
Yes.
comes down Ocean Parkway onto Surf, it goes up to the boardwalk at West 10th, and the finish line is somewhere on the boardwalk and disperses into Maimonides parking lot or
Yes.
something like that. I don't know exactly where the kids half marathon. It's on the boardwalk, but you should get your daughter to come.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, around there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's it. All right. Yeah. All right.
The old business.
No.
This is
Okay. Go for it.
This committee. It's about quality of life. And I know that they've been talking about it on commercials also about being safe, the driver being safe as well as the pedestrian. People are crossing anywhere. You park in your car, they're coming behind, they park in the middle, crossing the middle of the street. We need some public service information, maybe through our elected officials or something to kind of remind everybody about the safety of driving as well as crossing the streets. That's a major thing. We were taught years ago, cross that degree, that in. I don't even know if it's being discussed.
Sure.
But every now and then I do see something pop up that talks about how everybody needs to be on the lookout. Be more wise, be more conscientious of it. As a driver, as well as a pedestrian. And I think that if our elected officials and maybe with the community board, we can get together just maybe as a weekly, when we do the what's happening in your community, a little reminder about the safety issue of it.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Also, I talked about the fact that, not cleaning up after the pets, the dog, is a real health issue also, and sometimes you gotta dodge through just to get from one block to another.
With the Q team going through that, or I don't know. It's a Q team. It's a quality of life issue. It's got, I don't know. Well, hopefully they'll get to that point when the other parts are not a priority. Yeah. It is sanitation. It is sanitation. It is. But see, sanitation has to catch you in the act. Give you a ticket. Mhm.
Something when we do the weekly, what's happening in your community, a little reminder, a friendly reminder. But trust me, when you walk in the streets, that is an issue. If you got a dodge, just get from one point.
Yeah, no, yes, we see them. Yes, you're right. You're right. Especially on the corners because no one thinks of it. No, but the you know, the corner that's like is a given. You know, people just run to the corner and do it. Okay.
Look and be proactive and discuss. Like I said, even if it's on the weekly.
Yeah, we can definitely do that on the news. I have no problem putting a reminder, you know, things like that. Yeah. PSA, yeah, PSAs, which is good. No, yeah, sometimes, like you said, we have to go back to the basics, and that's what it is, you know. Mhm. Yeah, no, they don't make those signs anymore. Be fast. Sure. Yes.
I think it's for public safety. So I know Surf Avenue is paved.
Yeah, it's coming up. 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 We're trying to get them to do. Well, I know Mermaid's next because Mermaid they have more businesses over there that have been out of commission since November. They've been out of commission since November. Those parking what do you call it? The trenches that they're doing. The one on Neptune is about since February, so they'll get that treatment too. So Mermaid's next, and then after that, Neptune. 16th Street is happening simultaneously right now, so. Mhm.
But do we have a hybrid?
Well,
Completed.
we're hopefully before June, because right now, they're going very quickly. If you notice, they worked on the sidewalk by the stadium today in the rain, so that was a good thing, because our concern is if there's what do you call it, a half marathon, and there's 30,000 people walking down from the stadium, guess what? There's bound to be people tripping over it. So we told them, fix it now, or you're gonna get lawsuits, you know,
And
and.
just to add.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
But any, to get to that, you still have to come through.
No, I
Neptune.
know. Trust me,
and
I know.
Mermaid, so we need
Yes.
collectively all-
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. Yes, but like I said, hopefully we can get this before, you know, like you said, those major weekends. Like I said, this weekend, Surf Avenue is gonna be finished. It's finished as we're speaking right now. They've got, I don't know if they'll put the lines in before the weekend, but at least it's paved. Okay, what do you call it? Mermaid is next, like I said, and then shortly after that, it'll be Neptune and Hart Place. Okay.
So now that Joe's spoken, I know, because like Robert
Mhm.
said, we did ask, and
Mhm.
Joe said that Joe would speak to the different
Sure.
entities. We're looking for a little bit more, give us a little bit more, except for
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it is an issue, and we wanna make sure that we don't get, because this is not the first time, we don't.
No,
have
no,
this stuff.
no, no. Well, like I said, we can't guarantee that it's not gonna happen again, but, yeah. Yeah, and like I said, the councilman, Brennan, mentioned it because we did go to see Con Edison, and Con Edison was dragging their feet. They were not giving the permits for the DDC to, you know, to allow them to fill in the trench. Because on that block, if you notice, those are porous pavements. That's why it's a different way of doing it. It's not, if it was a simple blacktop, trust me, it would have been covered by now. Because it's a porous pavement, they have to go through certain things, and that's why it took a little bit longer just to do that.
We do have to
Mhm.
question, it's not just that it's inconvenient, it's a
No,
safety issue.
the safety issue
Because
too.
people
Trust me.
look at
Oh no,
the
we know, yes. Oh no, trust me, I know. I know, I'm there. Yeah, yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Oh, no, it's bad. Mhm. Okay. Yeah. That's it. All right. Nothing else.
Last call on Zoom,
No.
8 o'clock.
Yay. But you go. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much also. Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Good night.